Bob Parker. I am a senior advisor at Credit Suisse. My colleague Giles Keating, who is head of global research at Credit Suisse, and myself are very pleased to act as co-chairman for the Financial Olympus. We think this is a very important project for the development of the financial industry in Central and Eastern Europe and Russia and the CIS particularly. What I wanted to do was to give some background on the development of the financial industry. Obviously this is very important given the shock that the financial industry has had since 2008. I think if one looks at the financial industry, one has to break it down into various sub-components. First of all, there is corporate retail banking, then investment banking and the various parts of investment banking, such as merger and acquisition work, such as sales and trading in fixed income and equity markets, and raising money for companies and countries in the bond markets, and for companies obviously in the equity markets. If one then moves on to look at other parts of the financial industry, one has to look at activities outside banking, particularly asset management. Asset management breaks down into managing money for pension funds, for insurance companies, in fixed income and equities, and also in longer term assets such as real estate, infrastructure, private equity, commodities, and an important part of our industry is obviously the hedge fund industry as well. If one looks at non-bank activity, that is to say the asset management industry, the total assets under management worldwide currently are close to 80 trillion US dollars. And I think one feature, and this is very important for yourselves as undergraduates and graduates who are considering the financial industry, is that we are going through a period of change whereby banks, because of tougher regulation, have to raise more capital, have to run more prudent, less risky balance sheets, but there is a very clear transfer in activity in our industry from the banking sector to the non-banking sector, and most notably the asset management industry and these longer-term investment funds such as private equity and infrastructure. Now in 2013 I will have been in the financial industry for 40 years. Most of my career has actually been spent in asset management, initially in managing foreign exchange and fixed income portfolios, and then I graduated to focusing on global asset allocation. That is to say, managing portfolios for clients, whether they be institutional clients such as pension funds, and driving that asset allocation between money markets, fixed income markets, equity markets, and then what we call alternative investments such as private equity and real estate. Now, if one looks at the industry over the next 5 to 10 years, one obvious question for you as graduates is the question of, is this an attractive career opportunity? And I would argue that there are very strong positives for you to join this industry and to develop your career in this industry. And the main reason is obviously career upside, and you can, I think, if you project where you will be in your careers over the next 5, 10 and longer term years, I think there is very significant positives for the industry. The industry will become more complex, and if one just looks at the very basic areas of the industry, such as retail banking and corporate banking, clearly those areas are highly correlated with the development of economies. But if one looks at other areas of the industry, managing money, for example, for pension funds. I think inevitably we have to see in virtually every country the need for greater pension fund assets as populations age. If we look at the insurance industry, that is correlated with the pension industry, and there will be, I think, very strong growth in insurance assets, which have to be managed by professional portfolio managers. And then for organizations which have longer term liabilities, clearly there will be a significant flow of funds into longer term assets. Longer term assets, assets which are illiquid, such as infrastructure and real estate. So I think the upside for you as graduates, undergraduates in the financial industry is very positive indeed. As I mentioned, I have been in the industry for approximately 40 years. Why have I stayed in this industry for such a long time? And the main reason is because of, first of all, the intellectual challenge. Markets are changing the whole time. It's a very dynamic industry. What drives markets, what drives investment strategy, and what drives your success in managing money in the industry and generating investment performance for clients such as pension funds or insurance companies. The process 5 years ago was very different from the process today. So you are constantly facing new challenges and constantly having to develop new models, new methodology for achieving good results for our clients. And I think one point to make, which is very important indeed, is that our business is client-driven. Obviously, if we don't generate value for our clients in generating investment performance, clearly then the clients become dissatisfied and there is a problem. Success in this industry is totally determined by adding value for the clients. Now, in terms of the Financial Olympus, I think this is a very important project because our industry is not an industry where you can just get 1 or 2 university degrees and then immediately become an expert in the industry. A lot of our success in the industry is actually driven by practical training and on-the-job development of your career. And one thing I like about the industry and why I have stayed in the industry for such a long time is actually I am constantly learning. Even after 40 years in the industry, I am still learning about new markets, new techniques, new models for managing assets in the industry. And I think the Financial Olympus will act actually as a very successful catalyst actually to develop your skills and to make you successful in what will, I think, over the long term be a growth industry. So consequently, I would strongly encourage you to participate in the work of the Financial Olympus. I would strongly encourage you to do your best to be successful in this project. And I very much wish you well. And I think, in fact, if one looks over the years to come, the Financial Olympus will become a very important catalyst for the development of the financial industry in Central and Eastern Europe, Russia and the CIS. So in this project, I wish you well. I hope you will succeed. And thank you for your time in watching this webcast.